Hi, welcome to YA All Day, because we could read YA all day. This month we're doing a special Hispanic Heritage Month talk where we're just going to talk about a couple of special books, and we've got a couple of special announcements for you as well. Right now the library is doing a Loteria challenge. So you could pick up a game card at any of the libraries, or you can sign up on Beanstack. I'll put the info in the description of this video. But basically, if you complete the challenge by October 18th and turn in your cards by October 18th, you get a chance to win a Amazon gift card, which is always a fun thing.
Another thing we have coming up in October is that on Saturday, October 3rd, Alejandria and I are going to be leading a book club. It's going to be at 1 p.m. on Saturday, October 3rd, and we're going to be talking about the book Marcus Vega Doesn't Speak Spanish. It's a really fun book, very funny. We've got it right there. And one of the best things about this book club is that you will get, if you're one of the first 10 teenagers to sign up, you can pick up a free copy of the book to keep, have as your very own at the Southwest branch. So before book club, you can pick that up and read it, and then read it again after book club. So that's coming up on October 3rd.
We like giving away free books.
We do.
All right, well, I'm going to be talking about the first book. It's called Labyrinth Lost, and it's by Zoraida Córdova, and it's the first of the Brooklyn Brujas series. And this is kind of a really good book for this season, this kind of like fall, kind of spooky, perfect time for like a little bit of a creepy fantasy. So in the book, it's coming up on Alex's death day. She is part of a line of powerful brujas, and it's going to be her death day, which is her kind of day to kind of come into her own as a bruja and like kind of accept the abilities that come with that. But she doesn't really want to do any of that. She's not really stoked about it, and her family all thinks that like, oh, it's fine. It's just, this rebellion is just normal teenagerdom. She'll get over it. But of course, as rebels often do, she she tries to attempt a curse, which of course backfires, and her family disappears. She pulls a Macaulay Culkin. Her family has disappeared, and so bye-bye family, and she has to go into Los Lagos to save her family. So if you're interested in a fantasy book that's got some world building, she's got some really great books for this series, and I know she's got a new book called Incendiary out as well, which I just saw available on her bookshelf. So if you're interested in sort of some great fantasy, she's got some good fantasy books for you to read. All right, I'm going to hand it over to either Susannah or Megan.
I want to talk about my book next. And my book is called Don't Date Rosa Santos. And the author is Nina Moreno. And Don't Date Rosa Santos is a bit of a rom-com. It's primarily a rom-com, I would say. But there's a little bit more going on than that. Rosa Santos and all of the women in her family are cursed. Their curse means that all of the men they love are lost to the sea. Her grandfather was killed on the boat when they were immigrating from Cuba, and her father was lost to the ocean before she was born. So she's being raised by her abuela, her grandmother, and her mom is an artist who's kind of in and out of the picture. They live in this little small coastal town called Port Coral. It's all full of quirky people and fun traditions, and so that's kind of where we set our scene. And then so Rosa's living by these two rules, that she never dates and she stays away from the ocean, and then she meets a really cute boy who has a boat, and all of that kind of goes out the window. So it's a book about her trying to kind of work through her family stuff through this curse, but it's also about her trying to figure out what to do with her future. So she's deciding where to go to college, and she really wants to go to a school that has an exchange program in Cuba, so she can go and learn about her family's heritage. But her grandmother is totally opposed to this, never wants to go back, and so they have a lot of conflict about that. So the romance is super cute. The characters are really memorable and fun, and I had a really great time reading this one.
It's a big book talk day for curses.
Yes, everybody's cursed today.
Mine's not a curse. I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Megan. I'm an early literacy specialist at Kenosha Public Library. And the book that I have been reading it's called Salty, Bittersweet by Mayra Cuervas. And the thing that really made me want to read this book was the food emphasis. So it's a teenage girl named Isabel, and she is entering this kind of Top Chef-esque contest to win an apprenticeship under a famous chef. The story takes place actually mainly in France, which at first I was kind of like, well, this is sort of random because she was living with her dad and her new stepmom in France. But the descriptions of France were totally awesome. She describes like one of her challenges, they have to go to a French market and pick up 3 ingredients that they're going to create this dish out of. And you really feel like you're walking in a French market when you're reading the book, which was really awesome, especially because we can't travel very much right now. So I really liked that aspect of it. There is a little bit of a love story. It kind of reminds me of the movie Clueless with Alicia Silverstone, if you remember that movie. So it kind of reminds me of that, but it's not the main focus of the book. The main focus is really about her cooking and entering this competition. And it kind of turns out that there's sentimental reasons as to why she cooks. She learned to cook from her abuela, who has since passed away. So it's a way for her to connect with her abuela and to also use the skills that she's learned from her abuela as she competes. So it's not a book to read if you're hungry because it very vividly describes food, like very vividly. I did get a little bit of a chuckle. She has a lot of kitchen mishaps, which are funny, but they also really drive home the point that even experts fail a lot of times, and they have a lot of kitchen mishaps. It's not like they just came up with this recipe just out of the blue and they did it perfectly the first go around. So that was a really nice reminder because, sometimes I burn dinner. So did Julia Child. So it's a fun read. It's not super light. It's not super heavy. There's enough going on that I think a lot of people, if you like food, I think you'll like it. If you like a little romance, you'll like that aspect of it. And if you just like a good dynamic family story, it also has that element.
So our themes for today are curses, food, and abuelas. Yes? All 3 books we've got. No, Megan doesn't get a curse, but otherwise across the board, I feel like that's...
We were kind of cursed in that we forgot to introduce ourselves. So I went like this when Megan introduced herself because right before we hit record, we said we need to remember to introduce ourselves. So I'll just introduce myself at the outset. I'm Alejandria. I'm the teen librarian, mainly at Southwest.
I'm Susannah. I'm the teen librarian, mainly at Northside. And we're very happy to have Megan here for her first YA all day.
So come into the branches and talk to us about what YA recommendations you need, and we'll be glad to make you leave with a bunch of books with a giant stack.
Register for book club and come pick up your copy of Marcus Vega Doesn't Speak Spanish.
Yes. All right. Happy fall, everyone, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month.